Welcome to our SJRC Texas campus. Formerly known as St. Jude's Ranch for Children, this has been home to thousands of foster kids over the last 4 decades. The majority of youth we now serve are teenagers. Many of them have been in and out of foster care over the years. We're about to introduce you to staff who are going to share what it takes to nurture these kids and navigate the complexities of their daily lives.
We are on a 7-acre property that I think is very peaceful, it's beautiful, and the kids seem to feel safe when they come to us.
They're extremely diverse, but with that said, there is this common theme of abuse, trauma, neglect, addiction, you name it, it's out there. Ironically, I don't really see the kids bond over the traumatic experiences they've had, but it's more the commonality of that we're in the system, we're foster youth, and we have a similar goal of getting home or finding a home.
The people who they trusted the most have let them down in some form or fashion. It's really hard for them to trust people. So building a relationship from the beginning is really important.
A lot of these kids are very confused on what their role is in life, so they become like over-parentified. If they had parents who weren't stable, so they become the parent in some surrogate way, or they become the spouse in some surrogate way. And so they can't even focus on themselves here because they're so fixated on how's mom doing, how's dad doing, how's sister doing, because they were the parent or the spouse back home.
You have to have a passion for, I think that working with kids in this environment and with the kind of kids that have been through the trauma that they've been through, you just really have to have a heart for it. I don't think a degree, I don't think any of those things can prepare you for this type of work. It really has to be a calling, something that you know you're coming to work, you want to better the lives of another individual.
What was that like, being in the house with the youth for a year?
I loved it, and I also say, and I tell people that that's the best experience that I've got. We promote internal growth here. Half of our admin team worked in the house, they started in direct care, and it's just a great experience. I think that I always say that the youth taught me more than I ever could teach them.
I think the most important thing is, one, you have to actually like working with kids and like kids. The part 2 of that though is you can't be attached to the outcomes, but what ends up happening is they want to see the harvest too early, or they want to see all the good they're bringing to campus, and it's not about you, it's about the kids, and they're allowed to be broken, messy humans, and we may not see any growth until years down the road.
What are the characteristics you see in a successful youth care worker?
I think some of the characteristics of a successful youth care specialist is their passion, their compassion, their empathy, and just having a really strong work ethic and coming every single day and showing up for the youth and providing them a good role model.
Motivating youth, trying to encourage them to, see past the today. I think that that's a struggle with our youth, is that it's hard for them to get out of their own way sometimes. They think the world's against them, and so our job is to be in there and to really encourage them that this isn't the end, this is just the beginning, you can turn it around.
I help facilitate the group therapy that we have Monday through Thursday. Those are very diverse in that we have skills groups, we have art therapy, we do critical thinking icebreaker activities for them to learn to regulate their emotions when they lose and teach them the lesson of winning and losing, working together.
We also do equine therapy, and they love that. They love connection with animals, and it's a lot of relationship building and connection and healthy connections that they get to experience with the animal. So the very first session, the horse picks the child, and the kids love it. They always come back, they're excited, they talk about their horse, they tell the staff members what horse picked them.
What kinds of training and preparation happen when someone comes to work on this campus?
So you have 40 hours of shadowing, on-the-job training. You are observing a supervisor or another co-worker interacting with the youth, maybe giving medications, doing documentation. So you're really just observing how the shift runs and how the staff interact with the youth. Some of the virtual trainings consist of human trafficking, sex trafficking, being able to identify and learning how to work with victims of sex trafficking. And then there are also SAMA, which is our de-escalation techniques, and then also our emergency behavior intervention.
It's a high intensity job working with kids. It can be a little physically demanding sometimes.
You really cannot do this work on your own. It takes a village to provide care for the youth on our campus, and we have to rely on each other to be able to give the best work to the children.
You give a kid an adult that they can trust, you've given them a great opportunity to transcend the abyss and the dark, messy parts of their soul.